Welcome to this CareNote video tutorial. In this tutorial, I want to introduce you to CareNote version 4. I've been working on this since the start of 2025, and I'm excited to let you know what's in store. So let's dive right in. There's a lot in this update. I've been really working hard to not only hear from you about what's working in CareNote and what's not, but also how we can continue to build on taking your compassion for care ministry and turning it into action that then is received by the people that you're caring for. One pastor that I just got in touch with out in San Francisco, California, said to me, "I'm spending all of my time, Donnell, in meetings trying to organize the care, getting reports on the care, and then we don't have any time to do training, to talk about the care, to pray for the people that we're caring for, and to hear really encouraging updates from each other about the care that we're doing." And she said, "I found CareNote." And she said to me, I could not believe it existed, and I could not believe that it did all of the things that I needed it to do. And what she said, and it just stuck out to me, she said, all of the things that I was spending the time in our Zoom meetings and our monthly meetings doing, CareNote can do, which then frees us up to do training and to invest in each other and to pray for the people we're caring for. And that really struck home with me. And it was such an important message to hear. I actually put it on the front page of the website. I think I even created a case study on behalf of her church. Check it out by going to carenote.app. But yeah, I've been working really hard to make sure that CareNote is the right tool that's helping you with the administration and the administrative lift and burden so that you can focus on the things that you really have been trained and have time and energy for, which is meeting with people and taking this journey of life together with them. So what's in CareNote version 4? I'm so glad you asked. We've made a lot of changes. But there are 4 things, and then I want to show you a sneak peek on the 5th thing that we've built into CareNote. So we've overhauled the dashboard, both on the administrative and manager side, but also on the user side. We've improved the care request views so that you can see a care request on one page with its reports and its notes all in a single interface. We've also introduced workflows into CareNote. And one of the things that I've been hearing from churches is a lot of you use Stephen Ministries, a journey through grief booklets, and you've been managing that using a spreadsheet or email or text or just your memory of who's where in the grieving process with the books. Well, that's all over because it's now built directly into CareNote, and I'm so excited to show you that. And then finally, one of the things that I've been hearing from a lot of you is, hey, can we get a little bit more functionality out of the groups feature? And when I first envisioned groups, it was just a container so that you could organize people into containers and then be able to work. And several of you said, that's a great start, but wouldn't it be great if we could do this, if we could do this, if we could do that? Well, I just want to walk you through the revamp that we've done on our groups, both on the admin and manager side of CareNote, as well as on the user side. And then the sneak peek of what's coming in CareNote is assignments. Again, I've been hearing from churches who have loved what we've done in CareNote, and they go, gosh, Donnell, you have about 85% of what we want, but can I just assign a congregant to a care provider without it having to be a task or a care request? And then if anything happens to that congregant, can that assigned person be notified of it? And can that assigned person put in reports if they are scheduling their own visits? And so this is a new approach to care that a lot of churches do, where you either have deacons or you have elders, or you're using a modified parish model where you have a group of congregants that's been assigned to someone. But more than that, you can use it for coaching. You could use it if you were in a student ministry and you had student leaders who had a subgroup of folks that they were coaching or mentoring. You can use CareNote now to do all that management, and it's coming really soon in assignments, and I want to show it to you today. So that's the quick overview of what's in CareNote version 4. Let's get started with the new dashboard. Here it is. We have simplified and improved the dashboard. The first thing we've done is we put these 3 cards right on the front of the dashboard: tasks, birthdays, milestones, bringing the most important check-ins and points to your fingertips as soon as you open CareNote. And not only that, it looks good on desktop and it looks great on mobile. Look at that. We've also improved the activity feed. We've done that by using a little bit more color here. As you can see, we have these really nice sharp colors for the notes and milestones, updates, tasks, and care requests. As you navigate through the system, you can now see that 10 records at a time. You can search, you can sort by category or activity, you can filter by date. That's the new and improved dashboard. Let me just drill in on the dashboard here, because you may not have noticed, but we've also made the interface a little bit better in terms of the real estate, because we have this little hider here, this sidebar, where you can now collapse the navigation sidebar and just use the icons, and you get a little bit more real estate. So this is going to be perfect for folks who are on their iPad. On the mobile, it looks great. On desktop, it looks great. But we did have a little bit of a landscape or just a real estate issue when you were on your iPad. So now this interface should look really good, both in portrait and in landscape mode if you're using a tablet like an iPad. All right, let me just give you a little click into from the dashboard what you see. So when you click on a entry now from the dashboard, it presents you this beautiful little note card. Isn't this great? It's like a little CareNote. And when I was envisioning CareNote, I was thinking of index cards, because as a pastor, what I used to do, or actually I still do it because I'm still a pastor, is I would have index cards, 3x5 index cards, lined with a pen in my pocket and these index cards in my back pocket. And I would write down my notes and I put them in my back pocket. And then at the end of the day, I'd go to my office and I'd transfer them into our church management system before we had built CareNote. Now I can do that on my phone if I think it's appropriate. Otherwise, I can still use my index card and then transfer this information. And this card is sort of a digital representation of what I was doing in the lobby. And so let me just show you the power of this thing. It immediately tells you what it is. It's a note. It tells you when it took place. It tells you who created it. If they have a profile icon, that icon's going to show here, so you'll be able to see their smiling face. It gives you a hot link and a quick link right to this person's profile. And when you click in, you're right on their profile. You have all of the features of CareNote right at your fingertips. If you've linked your system to Planning Center, with one click, you can go right to their profile in Planning Center, and then you can see what's going on in their profile here. So I just wanted to show that to you. We have that running, these beautiful little cards that we've designed for each of the activities from your dashboard, which I think you're just going to enjoy. It's just going to bring the information forward to you, allow you to interact with it in a quick and better way. So that was the dashboard. Let me show you how we've improved care requests, the view of a care request. So let's go into CareNote. Let's go to the dashboard. We'll actually click into Care, and I'll put me down here. Sorry that I'm moving me around. And we're going to click create a care request. Let's see if there's anybody. All right, Jamil. We like Jamil. Jamil's a good name. So I'm just going to write Jamil's name here. I'm going to copy it, and then I'm going to use a little shortcut for a care request. So we're going to select Jamil as a care receiver. We're going to leave their due date, what it is. Let's actually make it Tuesday. We're going to say this is a care follow-up, and we're going to do an assignment to a care group, and we're going to put this into the care team. And so now the care team is going to get notified of that care request, but now let's pick up Jamil's care request. So we're now viewing a care request for Jamil. You have that hot link, and we've added these 3 columns of data here because we've heard from you that a lot of you actually use this view care request page as sort of a scratch pad, sort of mimicking maybe OneNote or a Google Doc where you're trying to capture all of the details of a care request in one place without having to click around in the application. So we heard you, and we're making improvements. These are the initial improvements that we made, and we're going to make some more until we get this right. So if you've got ideas or suggestions, please don't hesitate to let me know so that I can get to work trying to design and both build that and deliver it in the next version of CareNote. So we can capture a report. So let's say we met with Jamil, and so I just have another shortcut here, and this is not for Jamil. So boom, and then I'm just gonna replace that, but you get what I'm doing. And so here's Jamil's care visit report. We now have a follow-up action, and so you can assign it to another provider or create a new care request or just leave it as it is. You can once again, you can add people that you have done visits with so that those things get notified when this gets captured. And when you create that report, boom, it just shows up right where you are. You don't leave this page. You don't go somewhere else. You have it. So if you're working on a team and other people are putting in reports, you now have a single interface to interact with all of that data about this one care request. We also heard from you that you'd like to be able to just drop some notes in here. You know, Jamil is new to the area and would appreciate being introduced to others in our community, right? So you can now capture these kinds of quick details right here, create the note, it's right here. Others on your team can create notes. Their notes are going to show up here as well. This is going to be very helpful to a lot of teams. And like I said, this is just the beginning of the improvements that we're making to the view of care requests. Let me introduce you to another new feature in CareNote. It's called workflows. So let's jump over to CareNote. I'm going to move me down. And then I'm going to select my profile. So I'm the account owner, so I can see this app settings. And then I'm going to move me up to the right. And then on the left-hand side, you can now see we have a new link called a workflow template library. We have some predefined templates and tasks in here for journeying through grief, miscarriage support, baptism preparation, hospitalization, and others that are going to show up here and allow you to add them to your account. So we've already added these workflows, and once you've added them to your account, you can reorder them, you can delete them, you can change them, which is really great. I actually made a typo in here when the follow-up call probably should happen about 15 days after the update. So instead of it being 35 days, so this is the follow-up call after the first once you've been made aware that there is grief, right? You want to make sure you capture that. But you can see that we've automatically gone ahead and set everything up so that you've got the order of this journey through grief booklets. And so you can reorder this and change it however you want, but this is now built in to CareNote. And I've heard from a lot of you that you use the Stephen Ministry Journey Through Care booklets, and you'd love to be able to manage those in CareNote. So we're just going to build that in for you because I use it in my church. It's been a really fantastic resource, and I just think it's a great addition to CareNote. And it's just a workflow. That's all it is. And so I think there's a lot of power here. And you can build your own workflows. And over time, what we're going to allow you to do is share your workflows into a shared library so that other people can see how you do things in your church that you're willing to share with them. And that may inspire people or help people who are thinking, gosh, I don't know how to do a funeral or how to walk someone through grief, the loss of their parent. How would I do that? Well, now you could share that with someone else. Let me show you how it works real quick. Let's go back to our dashboard. Let's look for somebody that we'll use. Let's say Aletha. And then we'll go over to workflows. And now you have this button, add workflow. You'll see the ones that we've added, right? So let's just select miscarriage support. And let's say we have a deacon that does that work. And so we want to assign this to that deacon. We can now hit submit. And the workflow is added by me, but it's assigned to Deacon Sunday. And then under tasks, you can see here's the workflow. The miscarriage happened today, so this is now the milestone. And then here are the initial contacts. Here's the in-person visit. Here's us sending a care package. Here's our 1 month and our 3 month follow-up. And then we do it again in a year. And all those tasks are there. They can be edited. They can be changed. You can assign different tasks to different people. But this is just going to make it easy to ensure that everybody gets the same level of care in your church. So groups. When we first built groups into CareNote, it was basically like a container. We just wanted you to be able to put people into a group and organize folks along those lines. So it was just like a bucket. I'm just going to drop people in this bucket, and then I'm able to come back and interact. And as I started to work with and explain and get feedback from churches on this, you all began to say, hey, Donnell, this is a great start, but could we restrict updates and notes and care requests to groups? So we built that in. Then you asked, hey, can we assign care requests to groups? So we built that in. And now what I want to show you is the next evolution of groups. And instead of talking about it, let me show it to you. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a care request, something you've already been able to do in CareNote, which is create a care request, assign that care request to a care team. So here we go. That's our care request. It's been created. It's been assigned. Let me show you what the email looks like just as a placeholder. I know this is a lot of windows, but hi demo user, a care request for Aletha. I'm mispronouncing her name, I'm sorry, pretend person, has been assigned to your group care requests, right? So here's Donnell, here's the demo user. All right, so you can see the emails are firing, notifications are going out that a care request has been assigned to the group. Now, the next thing that I heard from you was, that's great and all, but how do I figure out whether or not my team has availability? How do I talk to the people who are in that group? So let's do this. Let's just throw a couple more people into this group. Let's attack. We'll just start over. All right. So Casey's in the group. Jamil's in the group, Pascal's in the group, and Aletha is in the group. All right. So we've now got the group. So first of all, that was not the way I want to introduce it to you. So when you come to groups, you're going to see a list view of groups. And in the list groups, you're going to be able to click on the group name, and that's going to take you into the view. And I just want to show you the new view. We've really spent some time thinking about how to improve this. And I actually think this is a good next evolution of groups. Immediately, you got your group name. You've got how many people are in the group, how many tasks are out there, how many care requests, and how many updates. Boom. That's just a quick, indicator of what's going on in this group. In the center, you have the description, the type, when it was created, who are the leaders in this group. And then you get some instructions, because a lot of you think of this as teams, but I'm calling it groups. So I'm trying to help with sort of a lexicon for how we talk about it. You can edit your group here. You can go in, add members, take people off. You can even delete your group. But now groups are going to shine, because you get what I call these relationship managers for people, care requests, notes, updates, and team members. So what can you do here? Well, you can add somebody. So we can add an existing person. So let's say we have Lillian. We want to add her to the group. You want to remove her from the group. Boom, there you go. That doesn't delete Lillian from your CareNote. It just takes her out of the group. So I had a church who were like, I just want to put people in a group and say, these are the people we're working on this week. And then when we're done, I want to be able to remove them. And to be honest with you, when I talked to that client, I couldn't do it. But today, she could do that. And this is really great. But what else can you do? Well, here's the first bulk action that I've come up with to share with you today. And that is to be able to send them an email. Let's welcome these people to the Congregant Care group. And let's find the message that I pre-wrote for them. And then let's paste that in. And now we can say, love, Pastor Donnell. Boom. That email just went out to those 4 people using CareNote, but if they reply, it's going to reply and come back to you. Let me show you what that email looks like. This is great. You get the welcome, you get the nice formatted email, you get a notice that the email was sent from your church using CareNote. I think this is going to be really powerful and very helpful to you. All right, let's keep going. Remember that care request that we put in for Aletha? Well, it's here now. And remember that person who said, Donnell, this is great that we get a notification, but how can I check my team to see who on my team has availability to help with Aletha? Well, let me show you how you can do that. We now have this Manage Availability button. When you click it, it's going to open a whole new page for this care request that we're on for Aletha, for you to manage the availability. You get a new button called Check Availability. When you click this button, it's going to open and show you all of your groups that you have in CareNote. And you can select the group that you want to check the availability for. So I deselect it, but now you can select it and click Check Availability and Send Email. And what that's going to do is it's going to send an email to your entire team, 8 messages to your team, asking them to confirm their availability. Let me just show you this. This thing is so fantastic. I had a lot of fun building it. Here's the email to me, Donnell. You now get this formatted email. I'm going to clean this up by the time you see it, but it gives you the description and a due date. And you can now say, yes, I'm available. And when you click it, you don't have to log into CareNote. It does it all based on a token. You can confirm, and then you get this availability form, which I think is just going to be, I don't like saying this phrase, but I actually think it's going to be a game changer for some of you. It's actually going to improve the way that you deliver care, because you're now utilizing CareNote to do the heavy lifting of the administrative organizing. Let me show you what I've come up with. They can now select the days that they are available to do this visitation. And they can say what it is, They can even give you a note. I can bring communion and a meal when I visit. And they hit submit. It all gets captured into CareNote, and when you come back and let's say you refresh the page, guess what? You begin to see who's available, who's pending, who's unavailable. Let's do a couple more of these because I think it's just really powerful to show you. So here's someone who's not available, so we'll just drill them out. Let's take another person who's not available. Let's get rid of them, and then let's go back to our email. Let's say this person is available, but they're only available Sunday in the evening. I can bring dinner, but that's all. And they hit submit. All right, so now let's go back to the page, refresh the page. What do we have? We have 2 people who are unavailable. We have 2 people who are available. We have almost the week covered, but let's go pick somebody who can do Tuesday because I didn't select Tuesday. So boom, Tuesday, anytime. I'm your favorite, so please pick me. All right, and now you come back. You've got 3 people who have indicated their availability, 2 who have said they're not available, and you have 3 who haven't responded. You also get a timestamp. When did you send this message? 2 minutes ago. When did this person respond it? Less than a minute ago. This is just going to be very useful for you. I have a church in the Pacific Northwest who has an acute care ministry. So someone calls the church, I'm in hospital, and they have to figure out, how do I coordinate? Now they can. They create a acute care group. They put those people in. They get the request, and then they hit check availability. Boom, boom, boom. An email or a text goes out to those people to say, hey, can you share your availability with us? Yes, I'm available. No, I'm not available. And now that ministry leader doesn't have to get on the phone, doesn't have to check email. He sends one message from CareNote, and CareNote does the heavy lift and brings him to this screen where he uses his pastoral knowledge and skill and bedside manner to know who's the right person that I should assign this request to. Well, let's go ahead and give this to Donnell. When you click in, look at what we've built. You can, again, see the available days highlighted in green that this person is available to do it. And you get the note that they put in. It's right here when you go to do the assignment. You can assign this care, and boom, that care has been assigned to Donnell for Aletha. Let me show you the emails that we fire inside the system. You may have noticed this if you were eagle eye when you were looking at my screen, all right? So this is my sort of sample email client. When someone replies, you get a notification in CareNote that says, hey, Donnell is available. Here are their days. Here's their time. Demo user is not available. Group member 1 is not available. Group member 2 is, here are their days, right? So you're getting all that notification so that you know what's going on. And then once you've done the assignment, Donnell gets the care request assigned to them. A care request for Aletha has been assigned to you. Here are the details. And Donnell knows what to do because you've already trained them in your CareNote. This is going to be super resourceful for a lot of you, and I'm glad to bring it to you. Let's keep talking about groups because we've built a lot in. We now have group level tasks. All right, let me add a task to read the book Sleeping with Bread. And I would recommend that book to you. This is a book, a great book about gratitude and the examine prayer. And so, and then you could put a link in here, right? So here it is, carenote.app, sleeping with bread. And now you can make this due because you're going to have your training on Thursday, May 1st. So you want it due the day before. It's a follow-up. And here's the power. You can assign it to an individual or a second individual, or you can send it to the whole group. One click, and now you've sent this task to everybody on your team. We hit create, and that now fires, and it goes out. And let me show you what the email looks like. The link's right there. They have it. It's from CareNote. This is going to be so fantastic for a lot of folks. Let me just show you really quickly. Once that person logs in, look at what they get. They get the task, but they also get the link. They get to know when it's due. It's assigned to them. It's a to-do. They can mark it as started, or they can reject the task. And when they choose either action, it updates your interface in CareNote so that you know, hey, this team member is not going to read the book, even though you told them to before the training. It's just really simple, straightforward ways for you to manage your team providing care to your congregation. And I'm just so delighted to have built this for you. Let's talk about updates. You already know what an update is. You know how it works. And so here are updates that are I called and checked in. And you can see that this update automatically pre-selects the team that we are working, or the group that we're working in, which is care team. You hit create, and it's added to your team, just like that. If people are subscribed to get those updates, they're gonna get a notification that a new update was added to your group. This is new. We're now adding notes to your groups. So these are group level notes. They're not specific to a person or a care request or an update or a task. They're specific to your group. So you could think of this, though it's not, you could think of it as an internal chatting system or a notation or documentation system where you can add notes right here inside your system. And so, boom, you put that note in, and that note is now available to everybody on the team. We've got this beautiful card that shows you the note, the date, who put it in, and a category if that's been selected. All right, let me show you the last thing that we've added to groups for now. We're going to keep working on this, and you're going to give us some great feedback. I'm excited to get the feedback from you. But let me show you what else I've done. So you know how at the start of this video, I showed you how you could send a group message to every person or congregant? Guess what else you can do? You can send a group message to everybody in your team. All right, let me find this email that I want to send. So, expressing my gratitude. All right, and because you're using a computer or a mobile device, you can do text to speech. Hey everybody, I just wanted to say thank you so much for the work that you've been doing on behalf of our church, SIO Westminster Church, and the community that we are serving here in the great state of Michigan. As I think about you and your contributions to our team, all I can say is I am full of gratitude. So as you think about your day and your upcoming week, I want you to know that I am praying for you, that I am holding you in the light, and that I am hoping that God blesses and keeps you. All right, so you got to clean it up a little bit because your text-to-speech doesn't work, didn't get all the punctuation, and it couldn't spell SIO. But you can see how simple it can be for you to be standing in the line in the bank, and you haven't said, a note of gratitude to the people who are serving in this group, and you want to just fire that off. Or you want to say, hey, I'm praying for you today, and this is the prayer that I'm praying for you today. You can jump into CareNote, click on this, and then with one button, you hit it. 8 emails have been sent, and let me show you what they look like. They're beautiful. So, hey, Donnell, here's the message. Again, you're going to say it's sent from here using CareNote. So they know what tool you use to do this. And I did that on purpose because I don't want anybody using our email service inside CareNote to spam people. I really want us to focus on using this to encourage our teams, to grow our teams, to strengthen our teams. And so that is the new interface for groups. And this is just the beginning. We may put some more power in here, but that's only going to come from you. I know the very first thing that I'm working on are a set of reports that will be accessible from this group. And I'd love to hear what kind of reports you would want to hear or see for your groups that will make what you're doing really great. I've already have one idea from a church where they want to be able to capture the expenses that they have spent on people that are in their group. So I think that's going to be the first or the next expansion of this feature that I'm going to add, is a way for you to capture the expenses that you are doing. I also know that I'm going to build in a journey through grief report so that you can see everybody in your church who is grieving and what book they're on and who they're assigned to and what's coming up. So those are some things that I know that are on the horizon, but you are my best sort of incubators of ideas. So after seeing this video, if there's something that is obvious to you, it wasn't obvious to me. So reach out, set up a one-on-one, give me a call, shoot me an email and say, hey, Donnell, I love what you're doing with groups. Let's take it to the next level, because I really want CareNote to do its task in helping you achieve your goals of caring for the people that you've been entrusted to care for. All right, I'm so excited to show you the sneak peek of the latest feature that's coming to CareNote. I'm so excited to show you the latest feature of what's coming to CareNote. It's called assignments. Assignments are what they sound like. It's sort of like you might have a deacon that's responsible for 10 or 20 people in your church. You might have a small group leader that has a group of 8 leaders that they're coaching. You might have a mentor or a coaching system. You might have a student leader that has some students. You might be a campus ministry and you want to set up the people that you're training in pastoral ministry to be able to use CareNote to do the management of the work that they're doing. It is limitless, I think, in how you can use assignments. And then eventually I'm going to try to couple assignments with groups. And if you watch the video on groups, the new revamp and the latest version, version 4 of groups, you're going to see that this really becomes a powerful feature and resource for you. Let's jump into CareNote. Let's jump over to the dashboard. And so you're going to see assignments when I'm ready to release it show up on your left side navigation. And it's just going to list all your congregants. So here are 50 congregants. You can do a one-to-one assignment. So if I want to set a care provider for this person to Deacon Saturday, I can add a visitation schedule, or I don't have to have one. And I can hit submit. And now this person has been assigned to them. But if you've got a congregation of 100 people, 50 or 60 people, doing that is going to take you a whole morning to do that. I've thought about that. So we have some bulk options. Anytime you click this little checkbox at the top, it's going to activate the bulk actions menu. But you also want to pay attention because it's only selecting what's on the screen. So if you've got this set to 10 people, it's only going to select 10 people or 25 people. It's not going to select all 60, okay? How do you select all 60? I'm glad you asked. You click select all 60. It then updates and tells you that everybody is selected. Why is that important? It's important because you'll think you finished it and then you're not. And you'll be like, Donnell, it's not working. And then I'll say, hey, did you click select all? And you'll be like, I didn't see it. All right, here we go. So we're going to click on bulk action. And these are just the ones that came out of my head. I'm sure once you see this, you'll be like, Donnell, the obvious one was to do this. And you're right. I can think of one right now, which is an area code. Let's say you want to put everybody in a specific area code together. We could add that. But you can assign to provider. And when you assign to provider, you can take all 60 people and select and assign them to just one person. So this is great if you aren't selecting all, but you go through your system and you're like, all right, I want these like 5 people to be assigned to demo user, and it can delete any existing assignments, which I think is really cool. You can add your visitation schedule. You can now say, I want you to visit them 4 times a year, and you can send a note. Please visit these folks 4 times a year. Thank you. All right, and you hit submit. Boom, that assignment is in place. You can see it selected it and added demo user, and it sent an email to demo user letting them know that they've been assigned 5 people, and now they can come into CareNote and start to put in reports for the people that are in their assignment. You don't have to issue a care request. You don't have to issue a task. You just do an assignment. And like I said, the next phase of this is I'm going to tie assignments to groups, so that when you create an assignment like this, you'll have the option to create a group for demo user of their assignment, and then they get all of the features of groups for these people they've been assigned to do. So what else is in here? You can do a random assignment, which is really fantastic. So you could just select everybody, get all 60, come in here, do random, delete the existing, put in the quarterly, and hit submit. And now CareNote's just going to use an algorithm and pick people, right? So that can be nice. Everybody's now assigned, and then you can move people around, right? I don't know how you might use that. We can also go by postal code, and how does it do it? Well, what it does is it looks at everybody that has a user or volunteer account in CareNote and what their postal code is and what your people's postal codes are or zip codes, and then it matches them together. If you're in the States, everywhere else, I think they refer to them as postal codes. And then you can also do that by gender. So be sure, if you're going to use those features, when you drill in, you need to put in that information. You need to select that this person is a male or a female, and you need to add an address for this person so that when this person's data shows up there, so that you can do something like this, you can select that and hit create, and now the postal code is saved on this user so that anybody that we've selected over here and we've done by postal code, they're going to get matched up. So that's just a sneak peek at what's coming with assignments. And there's at least 3 churches that I know that are waiting for this feature in CareNote, and I'm so excited to let them know that it's coming. Thank you so much for watching this video tutorial.